So they came from everywhere black people were, right? So at the time, black people were largely in rural areas of the American South, and so you see them going to urban areas across America. So in the South, New Orleans, Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, Memphis, Nashville, so on. And then you also have people going to Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, Seattle, Philadelphia, Chicago. So, I mean, many people leaving for many different reasons. Everything from just because all the way to, people are going to kill me tonight, So the variation in interests and reasons is great, which is why I guess it's the Great Migration. Locations, people come from a range of reasons and also a range of possibilities. So some people leave to go be famous, I can sing and dance, and now all of a sudden I can go to Hollywood. Or I can go to New York and make it big. I didn't have that opportunity before. So some of it is also tied up in people's artistic dreams, being able to be outside of the rural South and places where art is happening.
And I wanted to be a star. So when I got the opportunity to go up north, my cousin offered to take me with him to New York City, and I went. I left everything I had behind, and I said I would get new things and start a new life in New York City. And I was the daughter of a sharecropper, so I was raised my whole life working out in the fields, covered in dirt and grime, picking crops, giving them to the white man.
The segregation is the same. The white folks pretty much treat us the same. But out here I have a job. I'm not sharecropping at least.
But I also am sensitive to why they may have been fronting about it, because if Chicago is awful, then I mean, what the hell? Like if Harlem isn't better than Mississippi, then what the hell did we save all this money for to get you there?
And he let me know how great California was. He talked about the palm trees and the beaches, and he said he had saved up enough money to buy me a ticket to come out there. So I was on the first train smoking out there to California. When I got out here, it was so beautiful. But there's still segregation.
Some of the differences were more about the explicit nature of how racism was. Like you could be killed. You would be, that is what people assumed would happen to you. You looked at a white lady, you could be dead tomorrow if you're in the South. In the North, people thought it didn't happen when in fact it did. So it makes it so that for me, Northern racism seems even more pernicious because it's, flying under the carpet.
Chicago. So I left to Chicago because they lynched my younger brother. He didn't even do nothing wrong. They just lynched him just because. And then they threatened my sons. I had to get out of there.
You also have, social violence, the inability to actually have good and adequate housing. You have the economic violence, meaning now black people are allowed to charge for their labor, but they're not receiving the same amount of money for the same labor. So they say, equal work, equal pay, and that's not happening.
Once I arrived to Chicago, oh my God, they weren't lying when they said they had jobs, but the competition just to get a job was so fierce. They had jobs that I wasn't qualified to work as. You really know what they meant when they said qualified. I wasn't the right tone. Moving on. Once I did get jobs, I had to work like 5 of them to work this tiny apartment that didn't even have a bathroom.
I'd been working at my job at the shipyard for 10 years. So when I applied for foreman, I knew I had that job. But when I talked to the boss, he gave it to someone who had only been working there for 6 months because he was white.
I think it was, in a sense, or I think it is, because I think it's still going on. I don't think it actually ended. This is my own shtick about it, is that black people continue to move seeking opportunity because many people continue to not find opportunity. So it really is this quest for freedom and opportunity. And so until you tell me that black people are flush in freedom and flush in opportunity, then I will say the migration has ended.